Thank you. Well, I'm joined in the studio by Christine Lloyd-Jones. She's been a volunteer with Maternity Mates for more than 3 years, supporting women facing challenges through pregnancy and also early motherhood. Hi, Christine. Great to have you with us.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here.
So tell us about your volunteering journey. How did it start?
My volunteering journey started in December 2021. I was approaching 60 and decided that I wanted to volunteer, but I also wanted to support people. My job experiences have been supporting people. I worked in local authority for a number of years, 35 years, and decided at 60 that I was retiring, and that was in December 2021. Started my research on what I'd like to do, and I thought pregnant women, because in my past experiences I was a nurse,
Right.
and I thought this is going to be up my street, and it has turned out that way. So I'm basically supporting pregnant women prior to them having the baby. That's 3 months before, during the birth, and 3 months after, and supporting the most vulnerable women who have complex and difficult situations. And I'm actually really enjoying it. My passion is there.
It sounds fantastic.
Yes.
Tell us in what way you're supporting them.
Right, I'm supporting them through advocacy. I go along to their appointments with them. I actually advise them and work with, support them to empower themselves through the maternal journey, because you can imagine someone's arriving here, they have English as their second language. I actually support them by putting them in touch with organisations that support their specific cultural groups. I also help them to pack their suitcases on the way to having the baby, just generally meeting with them leisurely, talking through any challenges that they have, and just getting them empowered so that they can take responsibility for what they want during and after the birth.
And then after the baby comes along?
After the baby comes along, it's about supporting the lady and her family, if she has family. So you're not only looking at the baby, you're looking at the mother, you're giving advice, you're going to the toy library with them, you're making sure that the mother is part of the community. You're putting her in touch with organisations that can support her, so that you're preparing her for when you back away and go on to supporting someone else. So it's actually brilliant.
It must be really, I can see from your face, it's really rewarding, and it brings a light to your eyes and an absolute sparkle. You get real pleasure from it. And I have to say, as a mother of 3, actually, that is the most vulnerable time I think I've ever felt, in the run up to having a child, and then during the birth, and then afterwards, because you are, you may have some family, you may not, but you are alone with a baby. And I do remember that feeling of being absolutely terrified. I don't think I've ever been more scared in my life than walking through the door with my first child and thinking, well, now what? And nobody tells you about that, actually. There are no lessons, there is no support. Antenatal care is about giving birth. It's not actually how you care for a baby.
That's right, yes. And as a mother of 2 children, 35 and 37, and a grandmother of 3 boys and soon to be 4, I am actually elated that I'm able to impart what I've experienced throughout my time as a mother and now as a grandmother, and I've supported my daughter through the birth as well. So I'm taking a wealth of experience, and I'm actually helping the women that I support. And they say, oh, I wish I had a mummy Christine like you, but I thoroughly enjoy it. And I make sure that once I'm in the sphere of the volunteer, I empower the women to go on and take charge of their lives, and make sure that I have a good full stop, not just say, right, I'm not going to be here.
So your impact is long-term?
Long-term, yes. And I have evidence that, women will make contact with me, message me and say, thank you very much. And, and the organisation, their training is out of this world.
That's fantastic.
It's really, really fantastic training.
You started doing this when you said you'd retired. You also had experience in this area as a nurse previously.
That's right.
There's lots of people who will be listening and really admiring what you do, but it's a big time commitment, I imagine.
Right.
how could you have done that if you actually were working?
You could. I could have actually, and I say that because the training is flexible, and it's over a 6-week period, but it's flexible. It's online, and it also allows if I was a younger woman, it would allow me to become a midwife, say, because I would be doing the volunteering. Babies come at any time in the day, as
Yes,
you're
they
aware,
do.
and you can work this through your working life as well as if you're retired. So the training was very, very flexible, and I could do it. And I have experience of volunteering as well. I'd set up in my working life, I'd set up a number of volunteering projects as well,
Right.
which incapacitated, well, not incapacitated, which allowed women who did not speak English to be a part of the society in terms of offering training for NVQ level 3, and they went on to become carers. These are Somalian women who had no English. So volunteering is, very, very important.
Yeah.
It's a community. It allows everyone to be a part of the community.
Yeah.
And
What would you say? What advice would you give? As you said, you were involved in volunteering before you retired. You set up several organisations yourself. What would you say to somebody who thinks, I'd love to do something, I don't know where to start, and I don't know how much time I've got realistically to commit?
Right. I say, now I'm advising people as well.
Yeah.
I say, think of something that you've always wanted to do, and you think, I don't have the time. Do your research and just phone up an organisation and say to them, I can offer 1 hour, I can offer 2 hours. Organisations are open to whatever you have to offer. I see the person I support in once a week for 3 hours, but I'm available on the phone, I'm available via email, so I'm talking to her but not physically with her. So I'm advising, making sure I'm a listening ear, and my advice is to just do your research and get in there and do what you are passionate about.
I think that is the key, isn't it?
Yes.
I've just recently, last year, volunteered with a charity helping take down the story of a Holocaust survivor, which has been turned into a book. And it was quite a time commitment. And at times I did struggle to go to those meetings to interview him essentially and get down his words. But it's all worth it if it's something that you really care about.
Right.
And in this circumstance, it's actually, I've now got the printed book there in his own words. So it's something that's there forever. But so is your impact. The impact that the legacy that you will leave behind with these women will be in their lives forever, and for their children.
Yes, and it's about being flexible. Flexibility all round for the person who is volunteering, for the organisation that wants the volunteer, and the person that's receiving the service of the volunteer. It's about flexibility, because nothing is straight line.
What about children? Because your children will have seen you, and now your grandchildren volunteering, and it's something that I'm trying to make my kids very aware of as well, this idea of giving back. But it's, children, they can contribute, can't they? Is it something that your children have been inspired by?
My daughter was the inspiration for me to do this. She was having my first grandson, and I went along, as I said, and supported her. Then years later as well, when I was actually looking at what I can do, she said, Mom, there's this brilliant organisation that would suit you down to the ground. She said, make contact. And so she inspired me as well to come to Sister Circle London. So I see children as at the forefront of volunteering, really. Even if you have young children, you'd go to a mother's group, and more time you'll be sitting there and saying, oh, I'll make the tea, I'll engross in the conversation, I'll control this group, and that's what happens. You're volunteering, but you don't know it.
Yes. And that's what's really important, to inspire them at a young age. I have to give a shout out to my daughter, actually, because yesterday she was off school and she's just 12, and she wanted to raise some money for a charity. And she set up a lemonade stand at the end of our street, and she raised more than £100. So I'm very proud of my 12-year-old daughter, who did it with her friend as well. And I was at work, I was here, but I've got lots of pictures of them. And she was so happy when I came home from work. She had all this money and she was giving it to charity. She was asking, how is she going to do it? And what difference is it going to to make. So actually, if you can engage them from a young
That's
age,
right.
it's really,
well,
and it's wonderful to see.
One of my grandsons, who's 5, he's very, very enthusiastic about helping others and doing things. So yes.
And as a society, that's how we thrive, isn't it?
It's very, very important. Very important. And I'm a strong advocate for volunteering.
Christine, it's been wonderful hearing about your experiences and all the help and support you give to those women in need through their birth journey and beyond. Thank you so much.